Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Finally back from my vacation. Had fun. Climbed a few hills. Where we're going to work on today the cover for the Poe Journals. I know I'd said something about showing you how I did them when I got back. Now this one, they're going to be all about the same layout, you know. But this one I used these square, and they got 4 little teeth on them on each corner. And they're like an upholstery type of attack. And I got them in the Hobby Lobby section with the fabrics and things. I got that one wall with all the things on it. That's where I got these. They are a little bit of a pain because I'm using this kind of a braided. I got that at Hobby Lobby too. It's small gimp. And as you can see, I thought it is similar to what the girl at White Rabbit Journals used. So this is kind of my rendition of it. So, but then I did it a different way. For the second Poe journal, remember there's 4. For the second Poe journal, I used brads. And I really liked how that turned out. As you can see, this is the one I began and ended with. So I had to add... but you'll see. I'll show you how I prepped that. I just had to put some fabric tack on the ends so they wouldn't fray. But these went in so much easier than the last ones. Okay. And I had to make some more birds, some more ravens. These 2 were out of an ephemera pack that I used on the first 2. So I had to make these little ravens. And they came from one of my newer die cuts from him. The 66681 has these bats in it. The 3 words. The spider turns out really great. I haven't used these people for anything yet. I think I did do a couple with the bats and used them somewhere. This one is called Vault Gothic Portraits. And he had combined all of these different things together. And it's named after those 2. So that is the pieces. And of course, you can see down here, I've got a little word chip. I don't know what these were called, but I have like a pack of 4. And I decided not to color them or use alcohol ink or anything like that on them. I just left them like that. And I had one of these from each of my ephemera packs. And I think that's it. Yeah, just these 3 pieces is all I was going to decorate with. Okay, let me get that out of the way. And these 2 pieces are what we're going to use. I think I got this paper from one of my subscribers from Canada. And I'm trying to remember which lady sent it to me. And then this here, I don't know if you can see it as well. I have these oval die cuts, and I've used them in the past. But I decided to make this into... this is from the Poe add-on kit, and I just cut it and cut it and cut it until I got it down to where it fit right into that oval part, like a little portrait. So he goes in the middle. And then I have these. This is like I don't know what it is, like a headband of sorts that Mom gave me. It's like one of those little sheer scarves you'd put over your hair, you know, when you aqua knitted it, you know, that kind of thing. And then I got it just enough for the last 2, and I'm cutting that out and putting it into the background to give it a little more dimension. And I think that's all the pieces that I got. Okay, so let's set this to the side. Now, I glued this in here last night. This one's got sort of a different background that I'll also use on mine, the 4th one. Now, I'll do like a quick flip through of the second one when I get done with this demonstration here. So you can kind of see how that one turned out. They're not all exactly the same. That's the thing. They're not all the same. So each one's got a little bit of a different concept to it. My board is nasty. So this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to get in here with my X-Acto knife. Oop, and my, I think I need to put my pencil on here first before I do that. But I think I used 3/4 of an inch to do the edge. So I'm going to just kind of come down through there like that. I'll come over here and do the 3/4 on this side. And that's just going to give me enough room to put my braiding on there. That's what I needed. That little bit of braiding width to be able to work onto that and still leave a little bit of a frame. So that's what we're doing. And I hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're happy, healthy, into fall. We had some beautiful weather over there. Oh my gosh. No rain. It got chilly, of course, when it you know, the sun was going down and such, but other than that, it was just gorgeous weather. Oh, you know, and how we always do it. We got over there to Charleston. We left for Tuesday, and we always meet about 9 o'clock. I think it was more like 9:30. It was construction the whole way over on 64. Oh my gosh, there was construction. And it wasn't just, I think it was a little bit on some of the other roads we went on too. The one, once we get past Charleston and go on down to where we stay, it had some construction as well. It was just everywhere. And anyhow, so we get over there, and of course, this is the, I guess, the month or whatever you would call it. I didn't get all the way through on that one. For the quilts. I love it. We go to in Charleston, we go to the Charleston complex, the culture center, I guess you would call it. And they always have something different. Last time we went, they had the Poetry Society or something was going on, and we had to park way down the street somewhere else. And then we ended up having to get a little shuttle bus to take us from here to there, and that was interesting. Oh, that's okay. I was a little crooked, but that's okay. And then the quilts, the beautiful quilts that everybody makes, were hanging up as we walked into the culture center. Gorgeous. I just love to see them. There was one that I didn't see, and what was that? Oh, log cabin. We didn't see a log cabin quilt. I mean, you saw around the world. I mean, anything and everything. A bunch of the hand-stitched ones were, it's nothing but a lot of work. Whew. And anyhow, yeah, around the world, I mean, a log cabin, you would think you'd see that, because that's sort of like what they're known for, you know, the Appalachia art. But yeah. And Zach got to see a few that it looked like his grandmother did. I mean, they were pretty awesome. I guess these people spend like a year or so working on them, and this little piece will be like a scrap for something else. But yeah, they have to be spending a lot of time on these things, and so we get in there and do a research, going through all the microfilms. I found one, and that was with Zach's help. Oh my gosh, one. It was, I don't know what was going on. We've been through a bunch of them before. So, you know, the thing is, you can look and look and look, and you just sometimes don't find them. I'm just making a little dot here where each one of my, is that how I need to do it? Well, yeah, okay. Where my little eyelets are going to go through, or my brads, I mean. Found a few things, you know, of interest. You always do. As you're looking for something else, you'll find something that you want to keep. Has to do with Kermit or any of the above. It's just fun. I love looking through old newspapers. Of course, you get into the ones with the wars and things, and you just don't find much of anything because that's all they're talking about. All right, so we ate. at Buffalo Wild Wings. We wanted something different. And I'm just cutting a little slit here because it makes it easier to get that Brad leg in there. But yeah, wanted something different, so we ate there. Wasn't much to speak of. Lots of breading and not much chicken. And then there was the dessert. Was very disheartening as well. Oh, well, we get down to Furby's and we start unloading, and we'll set up our computers, and we always kind of look at what we're going to do. We don't really plan. We know where we want to go each trip, but we don't really plan out where we're going each day. We had wanted to get with Julius to get him to take us up in the mountains to an old cemetery where we could video it and post it, you know, on our cemetery page. But he was going to go hunting. I think it was the first days of squirrel season was happening about the time we was over there. So, yeah, that was taking precedent over us. We'll do something with him in the spring. This was a very short trip for us. It was very short. So we did what we could do, and so it seemed to got a lot done. Y'all, you know, you don't think you will, but you do. Now I'm putting a little bit of fabric tack on these ends to try to keep the fraying down. So I'll glue that one, and then I'll retrim it because that one's got a little bit of fray to it. But this will help keep it together. And I'll just hang it off the side over here and let it dry. Yeah, see how that one's already frayed? So I'll get up under here and, oops, well, get up under here. See if I can get it together. And that part I'll trim off in a little bit. All right, next, I need to cut a little bit of lace here. It's got a little bit of a reddish tint to it. I guess it's just where it was like washed or something over time. And it's really pretty. It goes with that red tint that's in the actual journal. You know, it's got that flower roses on the certain pages. Now, the rest of this will not go to waste. I'm going to probably use the edge around here for something. It might even go in my book, because I'm going to really fill out each page that I can with some lace. I don't know that I can, but I'm going to see about it. All right, so that part's done. I got to trim off this one little edge right here. And there. Now, hopefully that will stretch for me and go on the back side. That'll be what I'm doing next. Oh, goodness. That was some kind of little thing Mom gave me a while back. But what I'll do now is kind of lay it on the back side here. And didn't cut it too short, did I? No, I can stretch it. Okay. So we are going to put a little bit of fabric tack on here and get it on there. So, what happened Wednesday? That was our first day out and about. We decided to just go to some courthouses. So we went to our Mingo courthouse, and we piddled around with looking up marriages and deaths and births. We're always, you know, sometimes you go to a cemetery and you don't have a full date. A lot of times people will just put year dates. And so what we were trying to do is find the full dates, especially if it was their death date. We would be able to take that full date and try to find the obituary. And so that is what we try to do. Plus, we like to have all the information for somebody when they purchase our book. It's more of a a genealogy book per se than an actual cemetery book, because we're always trying to find all of that information for them. And sometimes they can go into our books and just find 3 or 4 generations of their people. It's kind of neat. And, you know, we're forever finding more marriages than these people, you know. He found several more marriages for like a person that had already married about 4 or 5 times. And like, what in the world? We call them serial marriers. We have no clue. And then sometimes this one, the left fork of Marbone, it was our last creek we were on. This left fork, I swear, these people married the same people over and over. He actually has one in this book that married the same woman 3 times. Now, wouldn't you think they would learn that, yeah, the first couple didn't work out for me. Maybe I shouldn't do it a 3rd time, but no. No, they married again. I don't know what's going on. I know it costs to get a divorce. I guess that didn't matter. Who knows? Or just don't marry at all, maybe, and see how it works out. Alright, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And let's see. I don't know if this has dried all the way over here yet. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's nice and solid there. It's still a little damp, but it'll work. Now I'm going to trim this one off because this one has issues. There we go. Now, what I need to do is pull out, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 10. And I'm going to go ahead and try to, let's see, I've got these ends left. These were some corners that I had left. I don't think I have this color, though. That's the thing. I had that color. I think I used it on the last ones. And I've got silver ones. I've got a few gold, but I don't have enough. So I'm wondering what I can do for these. I've got the gold ones. I'm thinking I might have to colorize these. Let me see. Alright, I'm going to experiment here. Now, I've got this statue. And it's sort of a darker color like these. Not quite, but it's not so gold. But this is one of those, the foundry wax, that you have to shake. And I haven't been using it as much, so I'm going to actually stick it down in here. Oh, I had a little bit of stuff coming off. Come on. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, I stuck a stick in there, my pokey tool, and I'm going to see if it actually comes out. Don't tell me it's done dried up. Well, it's coming out, but it's really... Oh, goodness. Let me see if I can get some out of here. It came. It started and went haywire. So, I'm going to just dip my ends down in there, and I'm going to kind of put them in here to dry. Why not? There we go. But we had this one couple of people we met the last trip when we went up Ward Hollow, and she'd been telling us about some of her little sisters and brothers that were buried in the cemetery down the road. And we actually have their names thanks to her. And so we had one of the little babies' dates, so we kind of knew around the time that they were born. And I was trying to do that while I was there at Mingo Courthouse, but I could not find it. Any of the other babies. So, you know, a lot of times they just had them at home and didn't really, you know, have them to where they were listed anywhere, especially if they were a stillborn. But all these little babies had names, and You know, usually they don't name a stillborn. All right, I'm going to set this to the side and let these dry a little bit. Well, I have to say that that's not much different in color than the gold. So I might have to try something else. Maybe I'll do a mixture. The other one I used was called Statue, and this one's called Mind. So I'm going to squirt a little bit of that one in maybe this one, or it might mix. But I need a darker color, is what it is. And don't know if this is going to be the color that I need. I need a brown, and I don't I don't have a brown. Well, anyhow, with the little kids and stuff, I was able to find one of the mother's other bursts, and the later you find the bursts, the better, because you actually have, I don't think that's going to be dark enough. You actually have where it'll tell what number of birth that child is, and then you'll have how many she had that's born and then now living. And then there's one where it's how many are stillborn, or how many are born and now living, how many are born and now dead, and then how many are stillborn. That's how it works. Okay, so the later bursts will actually tell you that, and it's so helpful. And I found a few bursts for this mother, but she'd already had about 9 or 10 children by then. I know you can't really think of that nowadays, but this was 40s and 50s, I think, and maybe getting into the 60s. So I couldn't get anywhere there. So anyhow, we were supposed to be meeting up with one of our friends. She's done moved down there. And we were going to see if she wanted to go to the actual courthouse with us. But she had a doctor's appointment. Then she said she'd meet us a couple hours later. We hadn't seen her a couple hours later. So we told her, you know, when we get done there, and when they closed, we were going over to see about getting something to eat across the street. And then she said she wasn't going to be able to meet us. Well, that was the only time we had that trip to be able to meet with her. So I guess that didn't happen. Okay, so when we went out to eat, our place that we always love to eat at, Starters, it's like a sports bar, was back open. Well, it had been closed for almost 2 years. Almost. It's been a long time. And what happened, and, you know, we thought they were just renovating. You can get on there and see the website, you know, online. And the thing was, it was saying something about it was being renovated. And we took it at its word. But actually, what had happened, and I'm pushing this right down in between there and going into that little mark I made. There we go. There. That's got a weird bump on it. That's from the but it makes it look old. All right. But anyhow, so it was finally open. But the last time we were there, a lady we knew told us why it had closed. And it's so gory. It's because the person that lived upstairs, they rented the upstairs part of that, had died. Somebody passed away and died up there. Nobody knew about it. I think I need to actually go up a little further on that. Yeah, and he's like up there decomposing for a week at least before anybody knew. And so, yeah, he started to drip through the ceiling, and they had to close. And, you know, decomp, you can smell decomp after a while. Oh, no. So they had to close it, and I don't know. I guess they really had to do a whole renovation on the place before they'd allow them back open again. I don't think I poked that hole. Well, what do you know? I didn't poke that one. Oh. Okay. And yeah. So, back open. But it's got the same food. Same good, same good food. And then we went on back to the house and started doing some more of our researching. Whenever we find things, we go back and plug it into our computers and see what we can see and see if it gets us anywhere, answers any questions. Usually it brings up more questions. As usual. I'm just not. Sometimes you gotta adjust this thing to get it to go in so it's nice and tight. Or tight enough. That's what I'm doing here. Okay. Now this is something that could be done to any little journal front that you might want to frame a really pretty little guy that goes in the middle. Anything like that. So, let's see, that one is right there. So the next day, we decided, because at this point we were still trying to meet up with Julius to see if he could take us anywhere. So we went and got rid of our courthouse days. We only had 2 of them. And went ahead and went to Martin County. Now, we always find a bunch of marriages in Martin County because I don't know if it had to be done. So I keep saying they have to go and sign for the license at the courthouse. But I always thought they just went across the river, which was just right there. And it made it so much easier for them to get married because there was a preacher right over on the other side of the river. And a lot of people went over there. I think you could get married at 14 over in Kentucky. And I don't know that if you had to have any blood work or anything done. It could be. I think it was the age that always, and the distance that always had so many people wanting to get married over there. I don't think I did that one either. I guess I forgot the top and the bottom. Okay, cut a little point there. So, yeah, we went over and found us a whole bunch. Now, the girl over there, she wasn't a clerk or anything, but she was one of the secretaries that worked back in the records room. Over there, you can only get the marriages. You have to go to the health department or something to get births and deaths. So, she was telling us that she had ordered some stuff for that Amazon Prime Day because it was so much cheaper. I think it was Prime Day. But she said that everybody's orders were being canceled if they didn't give a post office box. And that nobody was delivering if they put a house address. I don't know what was going on there. But she had ordered some stuff for her little girl that her little girl really wanted. But she wasn't sure. As yet, she hadn't been canceled while we were there. So I told her when we left, I said, I hope your order goes through. Now look, I done cut that one too long. Maybe I'll just let it overlap like that. So, yeah, found us a few things there. Yeah, I'll just do it like that. It won't hurt nothing. And I forget what we did on our way back. I know we went to Three Guys and ate. I think we ate there that night. Oh, first, we still had time. It was still daylight. So we were going to get in a cemetery that evening and then eat later on. And so we went to Three Guys and ate. But before that, we really worked up a sweat and walked up this really steep cemetery grade. There's like 4 cemeteries there. And so we walked up and, I don't know if I can use this for this or not. But we have one at the bottom, close to the base. And a new one's been placed in there. Then the next one up is where my great-grandma's first husband and his second wife are buried. And it's an older cemetery. I think it's a Salmon Cemetery. And that's what we're calling it. I don't know if that's the name of it, but that's what we're calling it. And then we have one way up at the top above them, and that's a Spalding Cemetery. That's a really old one, too. Got graves in there. We're not quite sure who some of them are. They have initials and things, but we can't make them out. And then we had one below them coming down the other side of the hill. And that was a lady that we had met a while back, and her husband, and talked to. And so there was tons of big trees down. I think they'd had a tornado or something like a week before. And there was like a tornado that had came through there. Another gentleman was telling us. And we saw the remnants of what it left behind. There was a huge tree that went down on the top, that top cemetery. It was a Spalding Cemetery. And if you see some of these on my on my page, you know, my YouTube channel, I have to post them there because they're so long. And then I'll share the link to the cemetery page. That's how I have to do it. Oh, I missed that one. But yeah, there was like 3 or 4 large ones, but I think it missed most of the old graves, which was thankful, you know. So anyhow, that's what happened. And we try to post these things so people will know, because we're not even in the area. We come out of the area and just come and walk around to all these things. All right, where's my book? Okay. So the next step is putting this on the front of the book, making sure I got the front. Yes. Okay. So that will go here. Now on Friday, we were needing to get some cemeteries done. So we went and did, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We might have done about a dozen that Friday. And they were ones we needed to get around to. And mostly it was to, I think the one we went to, we had to remake or make sure that our rows were right and who was in each row was correct and that kind of thing. Some of them, we were just finding the newer burials that had been there. And we had to locate them to put in our listing correctly. And then sometimes we had something else to check. But mostly it was new burials, I believe. And we did go up Stone Cold a little bit because we've been starting to collect a little bit of stuff for that. That will be one of the next books that we do. Because this is the last part of Jenny's Creek. So we will be doing a new creek after this. Or not really a new creek, but a new location. Alright, now I'm getting this down. I didn't glue any of this lace because it was not necessary. Because when I put on this centerpiece, that's going to hold it down. Plus these little bits that'll be on the bottom, that will be all I need. So, yeah, we went around and looked at a bunch of different cemeteries. We stopped at this one. We've been trying to get to it so we could do a video on it. It's a really old Mead cemetery. And this guy we spoke to, he lived in front of it. We were trying to figure out who this one lady is up there. Her name is Betty Muncie, and she died in 1927. She had a full date on there, but we don't know who she is. We can't figure out how she's related. And he said that was his great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother. Well, we were trying to figure out, you know, he told us who his grandparents were, so we're following back, and we knew who they were, and they were in a cemetery just down the road. We still can't figure out who this guy is. Or who this lady is. It didn't come to us on any of our research once we got back home. I mean, we're doing a little jig there thinking, oh, we found it, and then we didn't. So, oh, well. And then we talked to we had a mallet cemetery at the beginning of Stone Coal. And you could see it just up above these houses there at the beginning of the creek. And so we wanted to get up there to see that one. Well, we picked up those bag of lice. Some people call them bag of lice, and I think some people call them cockaburs. Some of them around there were telling us they were called cockaburs. So we got up there, and it was a mallet cemetery with about a dozen graves. And so we got that one. So it's done and accomplished. And unless somebody else gets put in there before we get ready to do the book, we'll probably go back at another time. More than likely, the way it works for us. And then I had been told where my great-grandfather, Fred Sammons, had his house. And I had been looking in the wrong place, and I had a little girl there at the mouth of the creek there when we was going to that mallet cemetery. She was telling us where that little marker was, because that's what the other girl told me. She said there was like a white cross where somebody had gotten killed there the year before. And it was right across the road from where the white cross was, is where his cabin and all that stood. And it's not there, of course, anymore. It was too old. But people have been telling me, you know, that people saw his spirit there and stuff like that. And then I also found out where my grandparents lived, which that would have been his daughter. And so, yeah, I got those. We got to figure those out. I'm going to have to probably trace some deeds to make sure I got the right place. But one said that was where a Irvin Spalding lived, and the people were telling us that's where he lived, so that had to be the right place. So I was so happy about that. Now I just have to look at some census and see how that works out. And let me see if I can. Oh, man, I'm going to lay this down. When I get too much ink or glue on it like that, I don't know if you can see it, I'm going to lay it down here and push some of it off. This is just trash out of the trash can. Okay, now, let's see. I should have enough left on there to put right here. Can't see him too well because he's black, but you can kind of make him out. There. And you always get those little threads all the time with fabric tack. And then we're going to put this one here. The future belongs to the curious. I thought that fit for him because Poe was always sort of curious. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to figure out where I want it to be. I think it's right there. That's a good spot. Right in the center. Okay. Put this back on here. I don't know that I'm going to do the corners right now. I'll probably put the corners on a little bit. But it's where you put a little bit of the fabric tack back in here. And then you put it on the corner. And then where these little angles are, you pinch them down. And I have to get like one of my little jewelry making tools over there to get that done. Let's see, Friday and then Saturday. I'm trying to think what, we went back, Middle Honey Branch, which we spoke with that old man on Honey Branch, for that old meat cemetery on Saturday. I thought it was Friday. And I forget what else we did. Oh, we went to the Messer Holla. That's right. Went to Messer Holla. And we had to get a photo of this old guy. He was born in 1824. And he's the one that brought in all the Messers to that area. So he got a picture of his grave and remapped his cemetery. It's got about a dozen people in it as well. All right. Let me set this over here. And I'm going to bring this over and we're going to flip through it really, really quick. I'm not going to pull out everything like I did with the first one. Everything is sort of the same that got put in here. But some of the pages are different. But I really like how the brads look as opposed to those squares. And of course the corners are silverish. Alright, and then we have, I didn't do any pockets on the insides on any of them. I love this. I had to straighten this out because this was not in the center here. So I had to straighten that out. But you'll get to see what is in this one as opposed to the other one. And I like my little dangle button. My button dangle, I guess that's what you'd call it. Yeah, Poe looks really stern there. But I've got the little pocket dangles in here too. I put a little bat in this one. It's like a little frame. And of course the Ouija board and the letter in there, the feather. A few things are different here. You saw where I did it in this one, where it's a flip out, and you got other little things in there. This is about the same as the first one. Some of these were different because I had different ones from Chestita. And some of these I put something at the bottom when I remembered. Now this one has a cross. I put a little bit of alcohol ink on it, so it kind of dulled it down a little bit. And that one has Angel of the Odd. I like that phrase for that because it looked like a weird person. This one has the same as the first one with the book spines. And this was my cutout. But I'd like this better. This is what I did for the next three. Or the last three. Instead of doing that tuck at the top and the bottom. Now this was a bookmark, but you could write on it. And I had these little pieces, the little strap here and this from the Pink Monarch print stuff. And I had a little kitty cat. So the black cat. And that's what's over here. Then we have, that's the same. It's that belly band with a little pocket in it. And the Raven story. And I love these pockets that I made. I just love them. Now this has got a little witch's hat on it and tucks down in there. And then I have some ravens up there. And see, some of these are a little different. That's a little tuck with a spider under it. This has cobweb. In the other one, this was on the page right here, so it went with the cobweb. But on this one, it was a little different. Here's Poe in a little mason jar. And on these, I've got like the little cutout with a window here, a vellum, that has that little rose print. And this was like apothecary, like a little coin pouch. I have that in several of the other ones. Here's the skeleton. I love the skeleton here. I have some haunting. Now, I repainted all the eyeballs. Remember me talking about that? So all the eyes got repainted. They have the blue center and a white outside. So it looks a lot better. And, you know, I probably will go in here and put this on here, the Telltale Heart. I just was putting a few titled items in here. And see, it looks a whole lot more, you know, visible. And let's see. But other than that, it's done. That one little piece, I think, is all I got left to do. The first and the second ones are done. And I've got the third one, as you saw, the front and the, it's in the book. And so that's how far ahead I got on that one. That's just a little tuck with a little two-sided journal card. And these, I put these in here. It's a little tiny whale tail. I forget if I made them or if I got them from somebody. But that's there so they can figure out that that's supposed to flip up. Okay. And, of course, I love the little window that shows the bird. And this one turned out right because it's got black bird in it. And, yeah, it didn't work out in the other one like that. I may have to rethink that one. I don't know. I'm tired of thinking of them, though. This one has the bird. And it's just got like a little journal card in there. And then in this one, I changed, I forgot to put something in the pocket. So I put this one little ticket It's not really big, but it's there just so you could tell that there's supposed to be something in that pocket. And these are kind of things that I told you on the last one that I need to do. I still don't have anything on the spine, on the outside spine. This one has a little 31 dangle on that lace. And, all of this is the same. I think that may be different, but it's the bone definition. I'll put that in here. Kind of like, because she's down here working with some bones. And I've got death in that one. And that one's a little different. It's got this in the background. And this is what's in this one. It's like a little flip. It has this little tab on it. So it's got a candle on both sides. I've really used the candles there. And then it's got Poe with the candle. So I thought that really went together. And then we have this little piece that I made the other day. It was one of the last pieces for it. And this little dangle has just, it's pink. It was as close as I could get to the color of the flowers that's in here. But it does have some pink. This has a couple of journal cards. This is like a double journal card that you can write in. And then it's got the owl. I think somebody had told me that owl was their favorite. And then this is the flip. And there's the other candle. And then I left this rough here at the top. And it's not really that rough at the bottom. But just in case it does frill out, it's like supposed to be that way. Just so it's something kind of rough. And I got the Mask of the Red Death because I thought that it's actually pink. That's why I had that pink dangle. And then we have pocket. Here's another one of my little clusters. And I put some red beads or faceted stones, I guess you'd call it. Now this one has a little dangle here. It says here and now. And that's hanging off of that one. And these are all on with bulb clips, by the way. And then this one has a side tuck. There we go. It's just got something stuck in there. Essence of Black Crow. And these, I didn't put any of the little ghosty people on here. I'm still debating whether I'm going to. Then we have our moon with their bats. And I guess that, oh, there we go. And then here it's got the word haunt. And this is glued down back here, but it's one of the short stories. And then spiders and a little flower. And I just kind of stuck him there because it's black and white. And what else do we have? Of course, that was in all of them. And then the Beware is tucked into the little pocket behind the skeleton head here. So he sticks out there. That's a little crow like what's on the front. And then I love this raven. And this has got a skeleton in it there. And it's got a lot of skeletons. And here's the moon pocket. And it's got that blue one's in about all of them. And it's got Lost in the Darkness. I love that. Everybody was crazy about that too. And here's some vellum. And this little pocket has coffin. And then I've got a pocket on the other side here as well. It's got unexpected. I love this really beady, faceted piece. And I had to have that for it. A little more expensive, but I loved it. And here, of course, is my coffin card. A lot of people liked it. And it's got like caskets and coffins. Hearses and coaches. That goes in there. And then we're down to the last, the bone catcher. And it's got Lost in it. And there we go. So that's what the number 2 looks like. And it has this kind of an inside. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to get off of here and get back to it. I'll finish the corners on the third one that I just showed you. And I'm still debating on these covers. And I'll probably, I mean the spines. And I'll probably show them to you at the very end. Right? Or when I can. I'll show them to you before I give them out. All right. Everybody have a great, great day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.